today. Today's episode, I want to talk a little about something I'm seeing. Well, I see this all the time. It's something that drives me bonkers in the industry, and it's becoming really more prevalent now as we're kind of reaching that downturn. The market's peaked, and when you have a market that's going up, anybody can make money in an up market because market's going. You buy something, it's naturally going to appreciate 5, 10, 20%. I mean, heck, in Texas alone, if you bought anything in Texas, it averaged appreciation about 20%, which is not bad, right? Didn't have to do anything. Just hold on to it to rise up 5, 10, 15, 20%. That's not bad. Unfortunately, a lot of people out there, they get into investing or start taking classes on investing. You're not an investor until you pull the trigger, ladies and gentlemen. Just because you take a bunch of classes does not make you an investor. It makes you educated, and hopefully not an educated idiot or an asshole who never pulls the trigger on buying deals. And we see this not just in investors, we see this with realtors, mortgage brokers, title folks. You see people that get into a job or they turn their real estate, what they think is an entrepreneurship, into a job, and they never buy anything. And you're starting to see that here in Austin, where I am at, and other parts of the country. We have all these realtors getting in the business. Everybody's a realtor, and they can make money because they just list something, list their friend that makes money. But when the market turns south, this is what separates the true professionals from those that are wannabe. Because in a down market, you have a lot of realtors getting out of the business because they actually have to market. They actually have to do some work. You have a lot of mortgage brokers, lenders getting out of the business because they're just not the leads. They have to go out and find their own leads versus people just walking in or, throwing a stone and get anybody to refinance or try to buy a house. We especially see this is in real estate investors too. People take classes or workshops or sign up for coaching, but they don't make offers. Okay. Or the worst case, they act like a waiter instead of investor. Now, what do I mean by a waiter? Now, I was a waiter. I waited tables through college, made great money. I was good at my job. I actually took a pay cut the first true job I had out of college from bartending, waiting tables. I was making good money. I was making 70 grand a year bartending in college, then waiting tables at a place down in, it's called the Grist Mill. I made a lot of great money there. It was fun. First job, I was like, what the hell is this on my paycheck? But here's the thing, getting back to what I'm talking about. I get people that reach out to me, especially realtors who are struggling to find deals. So they start trying to tap into investors. And they call me up or they email me and they mention, like, hey, great to connect. I looked the last time that we've talked, it was like 5 years ago. And I just chuckle. They're like, hey, I got investors who've got $10 million and they want to buy non-performing notes. And I just chuckle. I also laugh when I have students who have taken coaching or taking workshops. They call me up, hey, I got buyers for this stuff, or I got buyers for hotels, or I got buyers for this. And I literally, I just want to reach across the phone or the video and like, what are you doing? Did you get into real estate, whether it's a mortgage broker, realtor, or an investor, to be a waiter to make 1, 2, or 3 points on a deal? Did you get into investing just a wholesale property where you only make a quick cash and you're not making the lion's share of the profits? Look, you're never going to get anywhere as an investor being a waiter and filling orders. I'm sorry. Yes, you can make great money. There are realtors out there that have made great money. They're on high-end homes. They're happy making their 3% commission, okay? Or 4% of their both ends of the deal. That's great, but that does not build wealth. You're not investing anything. And when the market turns south, if you don't have any type of investment skills or any type of deal flow that's generating cash, or you're buying a property and flipping it, making lion's share, you're turning to rental properties or buying notes that you get reperforming or buying performing notes, you are going to be stuck out in the cold over the next 2 years. You're going to be freezing like it's Lambeau Field in the middle of a football game in December. It's like the frozen tundra. You have to quit taking orders from these investors, supposedly people you meet in networking. Oh, I got 20 million a month to buy. No, you don't. If you had 20 million a month, you wouldn't be going to a local RIA club. You would be going direct to the banks. And we see this happen every time there's a downturn. A lot of joker brokers want to get in the game. They're talking to one person and they hear one person as an investor for 10 million. And so they go out and start marketing that they've got an investor for 10 million. And then somebody else hears that and it repeats the cycle. So if I get somebody who may be legitimate, and I get in a phone call and they, well, let me get my partner. Well, let me get my partner. Let me get my partner. And I'm 3, 4, 5 people removed from the guy on the far end who really wants to buy, but I don't know if he's legit because it's all word of mouth. It's like the game telephone. The story changes the further removed you are. So please For the love of God, everybody out there, start making offers for your portfolio. Start making offers for your dreams. I had an investor a few years back, just an absolutely wonderful lady, smart, great realtor on the East Coast of Florida. And she called me up and was all excited. One of her investors that she sold a lot of real estate to, I told her that he was looking for notes because he couldn't find portfolios of REOs. And she's like, I've dealt with him. He said he's got $250,000 to get started with. I'm like, okay, that's not bad. I actually believe somebody that says they got $250,000 versus like 20 million begin with. And says, would you mind jumping on a phone call with him and helping me with that? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it for you. So we get on a phone call and the guy gets on. He says, yeah, we're looking for some portfolios. I said, well, why notes? Are you looking for REOs? Yeah, we couldn't find REO portfolios. And that's another thing. You're not going to find big portfolios of REOs like you used to beforehand. So please quit asking for those. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're looking to put $250,000 into the game, I might be able to put something together for you. And of course, $250,000 back in 2010 is different than $250,000 buys you today. Then it could get you like 20 assets. Now it's going to get you like maybe 3 or 4, maybe depending on maybe one asset depending on where you're buying. Well, they wanted assets in Florida primarily because that's where we're from. I was like, okay, great. So I pulled up a portfolio we traded, and I put the numbers together, put like a prospectus together for them. And I sent it over to him. I said, okay, here's $250,000. We're buying these 17 assets. And we ended up making, it was like we purchased for 184, and then we ended up flipping it for, I don't know, $400,000 in profit because we bought them at like 35 cents on the dollar. And we're deed and lose on these assets. We got some performing and then sold them off as performing assets. It was a really nice little deal. And I said at the end of the prospectus or the write-up, I said, hey, if we had $1 million injection, we would look to do this 3 or 4 more times. And I sent it over to my student, and she sent it to her investor. And she called me back like 2 days later, like, oh my God, he's so excited. Yes, he'd love to talk to you about doing this, but he had a question. And here's the big kicker. Here's the question. I knew this was coming. And I go, what's the question? She goes, well, they want to talk about alternative compensation for it. Because in my perspectives, I put that we take 50%. If we put the deal together, we work it, we're sure as hell taking 50% of the profits. I said, okay, we'll give him a phone call with him. I know this is not going to go well. So we get on the call and he's like, yeah, this is great. We'd love this. We'd really want to do this, but we want to talk about commission. I'm like, okay, why? So we don't want to pay 50%. We want to pay 3 points. And this is the issue, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a realtor and you're pitching deals to your existing clients, you're a mortgage broker pitching deals to your investors, they see you as a realtor. They don't see you as an equal footing or equal partner. They don't think you're worthy of 50% because they're used to paying you 3%. And I laughed when this guy said you only want to pay 3 points. I laughed. I literally laughed on the phone. I said, not over my dead body would I accept that. I said, because you told me on the front end you couldn't find deals, and money is cheap. I can find plenty of money. I don't need your money to do deals. The least I would take would be 50%. And this conversation is over. I have no plan to go forward with you on anything. And they're like, why not? Because you're just going to try to cut me out of the deal and go around and find my sources. So no, best of luck to you. Good luck and keep finding some deals. And I hung up the phone. Of course, my student called all upset. I'm like, listen, here. I said, you have to realize you can raise $250,000 on your own. You don't need their money. They can't find any deals. Their money's burning a hole in their pocket, making nothing. You have to realize you have the gold. And you've heard me probably talk about this. He or she or they who has the gold makes the rules. And the gold is not the capital. The gold is actually deal flow, especially right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is why Wall Street and some of the biggest billionaires and funds have been holding cash back and not been buying stuff at the peak of the market, because they realize that stuff is about to go on sale in all asset classes. Single family homes, multifamily, self-storage stuff. There's been people that paid through the nose or overpaid for assets at the top of the market who are not going to be able to refinance, or their exit strategy has changed and they did not figure that in. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to keep providing deals for other people so that they can make the lion's share of their profit and achieve their dreams? Are you wishing you were eating steak instead of beans? You have to start buying deals for your own dreams, your own portfolio. You are not a waiter. Now, yes, waiters make good money, and I have nothing against the service industry. I was there. But you know what? If you let people determine your tip or your value, they will never value for what you are truly worth. You have to value your time, your energy, and what you want to focus on to make your dreams come true. Yes, if you've been happy making 3% and you want to keep doing that, that's fine. But you just have to market. You have to embrace the marketing, getting the word out. We talked before how to find IRA investors. You know, take one of our workshops. We'll talk about that. They'll teach you how to do that. But the best thing I know is that when people find their first private investor, it's like a light bulb goes off. Aha, I did it once for 25,000 or 50,000. I can do this again. And each and every one of us, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this or listening to this, you're literally somewhere between 6 and 10 relationships away from raising $1 million in private capital. You are. You are less than 10 people away from having raised $1 million in private capital in the next 90 days. Now, if you're a little younger, I had a great call with a young guy out of Bowling Green University who's 20 years old, wanting to get in the note space. He might have a little tougher time because his peer group is probably not going to have a lot of money saved in retirement, or they're barely anything besides aluminum cans being recycled from the Friday night frat party. But he can network. He can get out and talk to investors. And I know that whenever I go to an investment club or talk with somebody young comes up to me, and I wish I'd gotten started when I was 20, like all of us do. I'm glad to work with that guy. If he's got a deal, I'll gladly fund the deal and partner with the deal on stuff. But if he brings a deal, you know, if he wants to wholesale, great, I'll give him a wholesale fee. But if people want to partner and they bring some value, they find deals, that's the gold. And if you're struggling out there, I mean, I've got students that have been, you know, I can't get them for the love of Jesus to make an offer for their own portfolio. They keep trying to broker the deal because they are scared of the capital raise. I'm like, listen, make an offer, work your ass off to market for deals, because it takes more work to go out and market to find a buyer than it does to find money, because there's so much private capital out there, ladies and gentlemen. So I highly encourage you, take heed of what I'm saying here. Quit being a waiter. Quit taking an order taker. Quit being a servant to somebody else's dreams. Your dreams deserve the light of day. And the only way that you're going to get there closer to your dreams and what you want to accomplish and get out of the situation that you're in is by taking action, by getting out of bed maybe earlier, by maybe staying up a little bit earlier, by doing things differently than you've done before. You have to. You have to change your trajectory, because it's nobody else's fault for where you're at and what situation you're in besides your own. Now, if you enjoy being a waiter, that's fine. You enjoy being in the service industry of one sort of fashion, that's completely fine. That's your choice. But when the market changes and you aren't prepared, you don't have things socked away or don't have a side hustle or something prepared to take advantage of what's going on in the market, that's on you. And there's a lot of people that are struggling. You just look at all the lenders, the mortgage brokers, the loan officers that are out there laid off in the industry, all the iBuyers, the companies that, people work for iBuyers. These, you're going to have a lot of realtors getting on the industry because they can't go out and market. They can't go out and find deals. They're not used to networking. They're not used to going knocking on doors, doing the nitty-gritty work. So talk to people out there that have been in the industry for more than 5 years. Talk to somebody who's been through 2007, 2008, and they'll tell you that what saved them is their ability to market, their ability to reach outside the box and go and make some things happen, but also the fact that they bought real estate at the low end. Now's the time to be prepping, to be buying assets, to be making more offers than ever before. And if you don't have the capital, then go focus on subject to deals. Go focus on buying on terms. There are some great things that you guys can do out there to be creative. You don't have to have all the capital in the bank. If you're scared of raising capital, those are some things, buying on terms or subject to deals. And that's right now is a great time to be doing that, because you got a lot of low interest rate homes, people that maybe overpay for assets. We're always going to have distressed assets, whether it's non-performing or people that are going through divorce, bankruptcy, health issues, whatever it might be. Take advantage of what you were given right now. It is not a drought. It is not a desert like most people think. It is the time to make manna. It is literally a time, if you're an investor, I don't want to say that God causes this stuff, but it is a time to act, to make things happen. And the biggest regrets that I have is that I didn't buy more during that time of 2007, 2008, 2009. I bought a bunch. I wholesaled a lot. Yes, I was an order taker to get started, but I look back and the things that I did to find a wholesale buyer, I could, if I just tweaked a few things, I would have found plenty of private capital to take those deals down, or partnering up with private investors to partner in deals and get more than 3 or 5%. Don't get me wrong, I made some great wholesaling fees from $500 to 100 grand, but that doesn't build wealth long term. So I encourage you, if you're struggling with that mindset, feel free, reach out to me, talkwithscottcarson.com, book a call with me. I'll be glad to share with you my tips, my insight, my counsel, not my advice, because I don't give advice. Everybody has one like an asshole. Everybody's got advice like an asshole, okay? You need counsel. You need somebody who's been through a downturn here or there. And look here, ladies and gentlemen, banks will sell you notes. Do not listen to other people tell you, oh, you're too small, you're too dumb, you're too inexperienced to buy direct from the banks. That's a bunch of bull honky. You can buy direct from banks because they're looking for somebody who can bring capital. It ain't got to be your capital. As long as a wire shows up with the funds, they're happy. So I encourage you, stop taking orders, stop being a waiter, stop being a service, and start serving yourself. Take your own order and start delivering on the dreams that you want to accomplish. Because right now, in the next 24 to 36 months, another huge wave of wealth will be created for those that take action and those that aren't sitting on the sidelines, just complaining about how everything is. And that's the thing that has always pissed me off. People out there, there's plenty of people that are supposed to be in the note industry that bitch and moan, there's too many buyers. No, what there is too many, there's not enough people marketing to find deals, because there's plenty of notes out there. You just got to get off your ass and market. So if you're one of those people listening, you're complaining that they're, oh, Scott Carson, Eddie Speed, or whatever, they're teaching too many people. Screw you, dude, or gal, whatever. That's you. Get off your ass, take some action, go market, go to the county records, contact asset buyers, sellers, anything from the past. You will find deals. Start marketing, because if you're not finding enough deals, it's just because you're not marketing for deals out there, because they're everywhere. So go out, take some action, everybody. I love you. Have a great day, and we'll see you at the top.